Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the daily trend for week 24, day 4. It is June 15th, 2017. And apologies also for yesterday telling you it was day 4. It was actually day 3 yesterday. All right, it is day 4. It is officially Thursday. And as always, please seek financial advisement when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only. Support your knowledge in the market. See what's going through my head on any given day. Hey guys, always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, so market's still rolling in action here. As I got another about 30 minutes on the clock here. It is 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Let's jump right in. Giving the tag today on this Thursday to the FANG stocks, or better known as the FAAMG stocks. Been really in the news, as you can see. The stats out there, the numbers, I don't have exactly those numbers right in front of me, but I can tell you representing a good core of the top earnings for 2017, as they are definitely taking a hit here on the market, trying to find some trend as we roll out the contract here. ES on the June now losing appreciable volume here as of today, 467,000 versus 1.86 as we roll into, that's right, tomorrow, the Quad Witching Friday. All right, there's our session highlights. We'll get into the charts here in a moment, see where those opportunities on the trend charts were today. AM session, choppy starts after a Globex momentum downside. Markets ended up rebounding to the upside, but a choppy start on all three indices, finally finding a low, and bang, it was upside, but nothing easy today. Deep pullbacks all around in the uptrend. 6E and 6J downtrend, nice move today as the VIX closes out here at 10.9. Econ highlights, there it was on the platform, as the Bank of England keeping those rates unchanged as we lead into tonight. Bank of Japan to report their numbers out after 2-day session. Check out my pre-market trend by clicking here. And article of the day, very funny. I'm just going to go ahead and leave that to your surprise. Click it there and see if there's anything of interest. All right, let's jump right into the market internals. Daily gap. I wanted to go ahead. I forgot to post this yesterday, but if you follow me, you know what I'm talking about. All-time highs and daily open gaps. That's right. Open gaps on the arrows to the downside. Long trend down here on the ES to the next open gap. They exist. We've closed them out. You've been watching me long enough. You'll know what I'm talking about. But ES and YM still holding up at those highs. A lot of consolidation. You know what that means. Sometime, somewhere along the way, move is coming, whether it's to the downside or chasing back up to the all-time high. Technical momentum for the outlook for the week. We talked about the NQ testing that 50 EMA and 10. That's exactly what we've been doing. But I wanted to go ahead and point out the fib retracement, as in the name Trading Fibs, for long-term. Nice intraday. Yep, can pull a intraday fib extension or fib projection, combination of moving averages. But here you go. Nice move, as you saw. Price action did exactly what it was. You take Monday and Tuesday's price action, you draw yourself a fib low to fib high, and look where price action, there it was, the support off the 61.8. So apologies for not drawing yesterday, but obviously it came up and I wanted to show it to you. All right, so there it was, NQ. We got our daily open gaps downside. We have all-time highs sitting up there, and yep, those FAAMG FANG stocks taking a hit, coming down and finding a little bit of solitude and support on that 50 EMA. We'll take a look at the chart. All right, jumping across to the AD lines. Here we go. NISS NYSE. There it was. Finally, NQ, after a little bit of a move upside, tried to find a little bit of resistance here at the pivot. Came all the way down to the outliers, and that was it on the downfall. NQ found that low. Told you, markets found the low of the day, and from there was able to bounce up off the outliers on the AD lines. All right, let's go to the charts as we took a look here at market action. That was the Globex move last night, right when the market opened. Talked about the momentum downside. NQ starting out on a sweeping move and through the midnight open, and then nearing the London session, you had your NQ in a downtrend. Again, highlighting here the highest probability setup. Again, if you were able on the overnight to hold on, trade management alone would have probably taken me out. If I take a look at the highest probability setup, again, this is an old chart, but highlighting the basic strategy here. Heikin Ashi bars underneath the cloud in sync with the 534 and 5144 with a trade management that simply looks for the swing high stop. Can't be lucky all the time. Sometimes those deep tails on the candles will take you out. And so here on the move down, very nice and smooth. If only we had such trending sessions in the US. Bring your stop up to the swing size. Price action comes back down. If you keep the stop at break even, you can handle these moves. If not, you wait for the re-entry. NQ got a nice move down on the overnight Globex, only to follow through eventually right into the pre-market chop, which only lent towards, and still lower highs, lower lows, still lent to trade management taking you out here in the early AM session. It was the same picture on the ES Globex. Again, nice move there on the early evening session. And then ES following through the overnight. Very nice move through the Globex session. And then pre-market, a little bit of chop action across the board. All right, we mentioned the open gaps. ESNQ pre-market was already in a momentum downside as the 6J I mentioned and the 6E trending downside already. Nice trending move there. We'll take a look at the big picture here in a moment as the NQ on post 50 minutes of price action, that's right, was headed downside. Again, a lot of chop getting going there. You see yourself in a market action, solid body tail up. Moving average hasn't crossed over, so you grab this one. Didn't last very long. Price action turns around. You got the moving average crossovers. At least you got a nice trend down there in the first 20 minutes. Nice move down on the 15 tick chart. Apologies, 15 tick chart. There was the 10 tick chart that was a little bit choppier. So nice move here on the first trend down. Price action lifts back up. You have, there it is, 51.44. You're still underneath the cloud. That's okay. Again, you might have just decided to scalp that, not looking for the long trend as you see it just pummeling right back down. A little bit of problem there on the 15 tick chart with a nice long tail. Trade management, I said it wasn't easy this morning on the three indices. All right, looking at the MMLs, another combination strategy that we talk about on the NQ. Again, here we are on a 15 tick chart. And if you're sticking to the 15-minute, if you're sticking to the 1 minute or 5 minute MML, your choice when it comes to the Murray math levels. Again, we saw that move just here on the previous chart, working its way down. Deep pullback. I wouldn't say I would have stayed on something like this, but again, you get another shot here was the turnaround. Price action broke through on the 1 minute 5 MML, and moving average crossover got you in back to the upside on the 1 minute range. So nice move on the MMLs on a 15 tick. All right, NQPM session. Got a nice move in the afternoon. Again, deep pullbacks. Those were tough here today. Again, trade management alone would have taken you out. And who knows? Just gave you another opportunity. 1, 2, 3, 4 moves, scalps to the upside. And then finally on the PM session late, there with about 2 hours to go, there was your final move on the NQ. All right, so wrapping it up. Here, NQ again, big picture, guys, nothing to be afraid of. We've been in a relentless uptrend, so it's good. We have a small pullback. Very nice. 50 MA, finding that support. Relentless uptrend, still holding. Nothing like a pullback as we've seen previous in the markets year after year, month after month, and week after week, depending on what time frame you're watching. All right, taking a look at the ES full session here. Again, highlighting the highest probability setups. In the shaded green here, you're looking for all charts to be in sync. It doesn't mean you can't trade the others, but with patience and discipline, that's right. You look for the highest probability setup when everything's in sync, gives you good opportunities to remain in the trend. It all depends on your trade management. Where do you place that stop? How far back do you keep it? That is all going to be dependent on how quickly you get taken out. And that's the market. That's the way it's changed. We don't have, like we talked about today, we don't have 300 tick runs on the Dow these days. So market action used to take off in the morning and just simply run away. That gave you a great opportunity to run the rest of the day, but it's not like that. You got to deal with these bread and butter moves, which is either a scalp, get your stop to break even, or simply get the opportunity to trail up. And it's identifying. That's what I want you to work on, identifying those highest probability setups. And again, if you're not used to Heikin Ashi bars, they're trend bars. There are other trend studies out there, but these are trend bars. It's a very simple decision. Is it in trend or is it indecision? Indecision meaning it can go either way, but you wait until the bar closes to make up that the decision to either bail on the trade or to continue in the trend. All right, there was your ES, your NQ full session. Again, we talked about it on the higher time frame, 15 tick, a lot of chop here. Finally let go downside. Again, not the highest probability setup, but a good setup underneath the cloud with the 534 in sync, thus the yellow tag here for caution with only 2 studies in sync. Again, here was the post about 30 minutes move here. Again, not easy downside here as long tails kept taking out the re-entries or at least the initial move. So unless you're able to handle the deeper pullback on the stop, you would have been taken out of this move here. Anyway, NQ got a move back upside, and then finally here was a little bit of smoother move on the afternoon session if you traded, and then chops at the tops as price action was resisting at that 50 period moving average. Not fun. And YM, taking a look at the price action again. We said choppy AM session, and then finally get a move here in the afternoon, only to chop out through the rest of the day. All right, having said all that, let's jump over to NQ for a moment. Again, here's a 15 tick chart. Let's go to the AM session. Again, you have your choice when it comes to trend. You can follow the lower time frame, you can follow the higher time frame. So here was the AM session. Let's go back. And again, you can see that on the 10 tick chart, you had more opportunities. So here is a setup. Again, it all depended on what time frame you were watching. So I want to identify here is that we have a solid Heikin Ashi bar tail up. You got the moving averages that crossed over. And if you draw all the way down here, you see everything in sync. Well, here you're in the first 20 seconds of trade, or here first minute 20 seconds. Sometimes it's okay, guys, to wait. Now I know this is all the way up, but this is the price action right here. Let's highlight this. All right, this is your first 30 minutes of trading, and in this first 30 minutes of trading, you had one solid setup based on the strategy that I follow to the downside. And so it's okay to sit out the first 30 minutes and just wait for markets to settle. It's also okay to simply go to a higher time frame and keep you out of some of this choppy setups. It might take another bar or two on a 15 tick chart, but it will keep you out of this trouble. So keep that in mind, especially on volatility, especially where we are in the session. Not one of my favorite weeks as contracts actually spread and volatility is increased. All right, so from the 10 tick chart, regardless, you still had the move downside here, but 15 tick chart was the preference this morning. As I showed you before, let's go back to the market open here. There we go. Would have kept you out a little bit of trouble here. The only slight possible setup that might have got you caught was the solid Heikin Ashi bars trending upside, and you had everything in green. I didn't say every setup was going to be a winner. I just said it was going to give you a high probability setup of hopefully continuing in trend. And the losses do come. Holy grail is patience and discipline to get back in and not revenge trade. All right, let's take a look at, we showed you the big picture on the moving averages. So let's take a look at where we sit currently in the bigger time frame. I wanted to also point out from yesterday, and I talk about MML, and there's a reason I left this chart up. As you can see, MML's reset. And I mentioned this once every couple sessions here on the daily trend. But as you can see, if you look at the green bars here, and I left this in particular to show you that as price action moves forward, depending on the time frame of the MML, you'll see that MML is reset. So while at the end of the day, the MML might look great, and I will mention and tell you if we had a reset or not, you can see that here on today's session, the MMLs pretty much remain the same after a couple resets. So MML this morning on the NQ 15 tick chart ran from the MML low all the way up to the MML high to give you an end trade here by 238. So very nice move from the lows to the highs. Let's go now ahead and just reload and recalculate the charts. And there you go. There's your MML in the afternoon session from the lows all the way up to the highs. All right, so you can appreciate that there. All right, so where are we at on the MMLs? The big picture. Again, we have a reset here. So we go ahead, reload, and recalculate as the market reset itself here. So we got zone low down below. And we have our zone high up here on the NQ leading into tomorrow's session. So be aware that price action has gotten a lift today. So market momentum on the bigger picture, 50 tick chart, is back upside. We did break back above the 50. We have the 10-period moving average above us. So watch for that resistance upside as we lead into Quad Witch Friday. Anything downside will start looking back down to the zone low. And I don't expect this week to, but you never know what tomorrow will bring. But watch for that first level of resistance downside. Taking a look at the ES, big picture, we regained some movement back upside here as we got 15 minutes there still here on the clock. 50 MA, not worried about that on the ES as we saw there on the daily gaps. Watch for the zone high up here, retest of above here, 24.41.50. Any bounce downside will lose support here at the 10. Watch for the zone low down to 24.16. And finally, wrapping up here on the YM, let's take a look at the big picture. Still holding upside, a lot of strength there, zone high as we revisit back up to the all-time highs up here, up to 21.406. Watch tomorrow. And there it was, the test of the 10 EMA today, 10 exponential moving average, good short-term moving average to have on your chart. All right, not much. Again, we mentioned the 6J. I wanted to point out the chart. Nice trend downside overnight. So don't discount the overnight Globex move there. Again, highlighting the blue lines here to identify those swing stop positions. Opportunity for you to move your stop down in trend with all three charts in the red. Beautiful setup. 6E, similar picture. I went to a higher time frame on the 6E, 15 tick. Here was the close from yesterday's session. Euro open overnight. Globex, nice smooth, solid Heikin-Ashi bar, all charts in the red. That's what you're looking for. So if it's not working out on the screen share on or whatever chart you're watching, whether it be beans or cotton or orange juice or cattle, and you're trading the indices and the trade's not there, but it's showing up on another market, feel free to go there. Don't waste your time on a market, especially maybe the indices that isn't moving. All right, Jedi traders, as we roll into tomorrow, we close up this a recap here in the daily trend. Again, Quad Witching Friday. Again, anything can happen. It can be a quiet Friday. Maybe the action was there today. We'll just see what happens. Watch for the volatility. Again, be prepared. Go to the higher time frame if that works better in that first 30 minutes. Just as I mentioned here on the NQ this morning. Let me pull that chart up. I'm going to remind you if that's your market of choice. Again, you can eliminate a lot of that intraday noise. I'm not saying that every setup's going to be a 100% winner. That's why you have a stop and play. That's why you bail, and you just be ready for the next setup. And as soon as, at least at a minimum, you have the bars in sync, in trend, together with the 534, you take the setup, put your trade management, get that stop to break even, and hopefully you don't have a tail that's going to take you out. And again, that's just a hope. You can't, that's something you don't have a control over, and I know that's tough for you because having no control is not something you might be used to. All right, housing starts in the morning as we roll out this June contract and we get back into earnings season. All right, Jedi traders, that concludes an insight into the daily trend in technical momentum of the indices and key futures markets that we watch each day. You may feel free to stop by here at Trading Fibs. Check out my website. Check out the pre-market trend posted about 30 minutes prior to the market open each day, including the trading session recap. And each week, I go ahead and put out a recap, which will be posted here tomorrow, and the technical momentum outlook. And feel free to peruse around the website. Some good stuff around here, including information on the trading rules as well. You can find me every day on Twitter at Trading Fibs, including Stock Twits or any of my social media outlets for more information. My simple strategy or my trading mantra is keeping it simple. One chart, one trading strategy, any market, any chart, any time frame, which should keep you disciplined. I only simply watch what's on in front of me and on my charts, and I keep that bias out the door when trading on it. It doesn't matter whether we go up or down. The intraday charts, you have to be ready in both directions. Jedi traders, if you're interested in joining us, a community of like-minded traders, we average around 30 to 40, sometimes even 50 traders in the room per day. You may join us any Thursday or Friday to view the light chart setups as they happen. Feel free to email me, David at Trading Fibs. I know there are a lot of choices when it comes to trading rooms. I keep it fair. I keep it, well, you can find all the information, plenty of information here on the membership for the trading room. But if you just want to check it out and see the Heikin Ashi bars in trading, in session, in live charts, feel free to email me there. All right, as you know, if I've forgotten anything, I'm sure I will post it online in the Globex session. Again, always watch your Globex sessions for movement. Again, not indicative of where we're headed in the next session. So have yourselves a Blue Zone day wherever you may be. Have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good night. And David from Trading Fibs wishing good trading to you.